Executive Director of the Davidson Lands Conservatory. So thank you for joining us.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Can you tell us about what land trusts are and what the Davidson Lands Conservatory is?
Yes. Yes.
So I think people hear it a lot but aren't really sure
Right.
what exactly it does.
We're the Davidson Lands Conservancy.
Conservancy.
And use the word land trust interchangeably. This means the same thing. But what land trusts do is to work to protect open space and natural areas in the community. Our focus as a local land trust rather than a regional one is the Davidson town limits, what's called its extraterritorial jurisdiction, the area out to the east of Davidson itself that is under Davidson's planning control. We also are willing to help out in areas over the county line in Cabarrus or Iredell if the landowners would like to work with us.
Now, when you talk about outside the limits, you're talking that corridor of 73 out towards Poplar Tent?
And especially to the north of it. 73 is the southern edge of that jurisdiction.
Okay.
So how does it work, the land trust? Is it that people deed land into land trusts, or is it that they make a commitment that the land won't be developed? Is it maybe giving incentives for people to maintain farmland?
Yes.
What is it?
First of all, we'd be very happy to have people deed land to us.
Okay.
That's great to acquire it through donation that way. The second situation you're describing is what we term an easement, where they put an easement on the property that says we will only develop it this little bit and give away the right to develop the rest of it or whatever. And or if it's a farm and they say we want to continue farming, then we'll write the easement in such a way that it permits that. And then the second way is to try to work with government entities and such that are acquiring open space and parkland and such, and to advocate for getting the best parkland protected that way.
Now,
So do you influence then like the zoning? Because I know Davidson's constantly kind of tweaking and reapproving the zoning, what zoning applies to which areas of town,
Yes.
and what the requirements are for green space when a developer comes in. Is that part of
Yes.
the advocacy you do, is to get those rules to benefit open space?
That is correct. And in that way, we're a little bit of a non-traditional land conservancy in that we like to work through the development process, and where there is going to be open space protected in a development, we'd like to partner in managing that open space. Usually it's owned by the homeowners association.
Okay.
Not always, but usually. And so we would partner with them and just help to make sure that they follow the best land management principles, and that what may start out as just very ordinary, even you might say weed filled or something, open space, over the time, if you manage it correctly, can be just beautiful natural areas. So,
Do you require certain easements, or are there requirements out there that say if you're going to acquire this much land, you have to have an easement on your property? And then
no,
okay.
no, there's not. Actually, there was for a little while, but it's been sort of put on the shelf while that ordinance is rewritten. But a while back, Davidson had an ordinance that required in certain areas that you had to set aside 50% of the area for open space. And we actually have acquired a commitment for an easement on 100 acres of open space in what's called the Abersham development, out off of Gray Road and Shearer Road in the extreme northeastern corner of the county.
Now, how is it all funded, the Conservancy?
Just about any way we can find the money.
What's your main
we do it.
resource?
It's mainly through an event that we have as a fundraiser called the Run for Green. It takes place in September, and it's a 5K, a 10K, and a half marathon run. So it's been quite successful for us in the past. We have memberships. We get a little bit of support from the town of Davidson. Our most significant single source, actually, is the town of Davidson. But we are a private, nonprofit, very low budget organization.